Right. Well, if I press that and I press that, this should happen. Ding! Hello, it's Mark. It's the 7th of October, 2024. And as you can see, I'm so lonely. Max is not here. He did message to say he's going to be a bit late. He's something happening to his car or something. Um, we got to think about cars, haven't we? Thankfully, nothing too bad this time. His car is in the garage, so he's got to go and pick it up. So hopefully Max will be joining us very, very soon. Right, let's see who is in the building, who is watching. I want to know where you're tuning in from and where you are in the world. So we got Mark tuning in from Maidstone in Kent. Thank you very much, Mark, for joining us here. Zoe tuning in from First Mercy and Scout Group lead volunteer and Tamworth Explorers. Lovely to have you here, Zoe. Doug is tuning in from Bicester. Nice one, Doug. Good to see you, my friend. Good evening. Simon from Third Market Harbour. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Hopefully, tonight's stream will be a bit more busy than it was last week, because it was a very quiet Monday evening last week, which was a struggle because I love to have the comments from you guys, but people weren't commenting. There were not many people around last Monday. I'm not sure what was going on. Maybe Max scared them off. Dan's tuning in from 5th Burgess Hill. Nice. Good to see you, Dan. I'm 1424 lead for Maidstone East. Lovely. And Derek 224 North from Highgate. Lovely. So what's happening tonight? We'll be talking about what we're doing at Scouts this week. We got the question of the week, which loads of people answered. Thank you very much. And if Max is here in time, we'll play a few games and get you guys to start commenting below. So let's turn off. Oh, no, that one. This one. So, how are you? Oh, my woggle. This is all about small details. Love to have a bit of small details. Who is that? Another scout. There's lots of bugs going around where I live in London, so my boy is off at the moment. He's not feeling very well, and we got some scouts already saying they won't be here. So, yeah. Apologies if it's a bit noisy downstairs. The beavers are, I don't know, they are mental. My light's going a bit crazy. I just knocked it. They're full on tonight, so if you can hear them screaming, my mistake. Right, so let's tune in. Let's see what's happening. So Scouts this week, we have got camp coming up in 2 weekends. So we're going to go through patrol boxes. I left the stuff downstairs. I had some goodies that we're going to put in the patrol boxes. So we're going to relook at the patrol boxes, learn what's in them, bit of cleaning, bit of tidying up. So just prepping on our way to camp and making sure the Scouts know what's in those boxes, because they're doing all the cooking, they're doing all that kind of stuff. So that's what we're doing again. COVID again? Nope. Don't use that C word anymore. No, just a little bug. This guy. I don't know what's going around with a lot. In Scouts and Cubs, just doing the rounds. Max is here.
Hello.
Max, how are you doing?
First apologies. Yes, I'm just going to get into a car. I am a passenger. So.
Oh, I am a passenger. What's that? Who's that song? I am a passenger. I remember who sang that.
That's a good question. I can't remember.
Neither can I.
Who sang it?
Don't know.
That's a really good question. Hang on 1 second. Seatbelt. Seatbelt.
And Dan's tuning in from Silver and Scouts. How you doing, Dan? Like I was talking about last week, different people on social medias. We got Southeast London who are doing amazing stuff. Dan is Silver and Scouts. His Instagram and YouTube channel is amazing, so you should follow them if you're asked for some inspiration. His camp last week, Max, African drumming.
Hey, fantastic.
That's what Dan was doing. Max, who's driving? Is it the wife?
No, it is my daughter who's driving.
Oh, hello. That's why the camera don't move around. Right. Who else have we got? Nick tuning in from Humberside. Max, should we call you back in a bit?
I'm going to be about 10 minutes, so I'll stay on, but I'll go on mute and then come off mute when we're talking, so you just don't get the car noise.
Go off on mute. Who else was that? Nick in Humberside. Cool. So, we're prepping towards camp. We're looking at patrol boxes. Last week we did the menus with the scouts, seeing interesting menus. I gave them what I would be cooking on the leader side, and I asked the scouts in their 3 patrols, you come up with the menus. And 2 of them, what did they come up with? When I said don't do it, spag bowl. I was like, why do you have to do spag bowl? So we'll be re-looking at those menus tonight and just trying to tweak them a little bit, just to make them a bit more inspiring and a bit more trying to think of the word, but rather than just spag bowl, rather than just chili, we can do more stuff. So we'll be looking at just touching on that menu, and like I say, going through the patrol boxes and making sure they've got the right equipment. That's what we're doing at Scouts. We'll touch base with Max in about 10-15 minutes when he's out of the car, see what he's doing at Scouts this week, and we'll find out how backwards cooking went, and did he get a target bullseye, because he was taking his Scouts rifle shooting. So we'll find out what's that. I don't know if Max is laughing. I'm not sure why Max is laughing due to. Is it?
No, I'm just laughing because spag bowl pasta is just one of those staples of camps that everybody does.
Everyone does.
I don't. I didn't have a target, but I'm sure I can find one from previous. But it's a repeat this week for us because we're doing it's half. So people shooting, people cooking. They're making bread on various stoves outside. So Trangias, Kelly kettles, just trying out different stoves and cooking apparatus to try it.
Awesome. Harold is finally here. Harold tuning in, finally got the right time and the right weekday to see the show. Harold keeps messaging me on Thursday going, what? You're not streaming again? Like, Harold, it's been like 4 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever, that we've moved to a Monday. And Harold is finally here, tuning in all the way across from Canada. So, Harold, thank you very much for getting us on the right day at the right time. So yeah, when Max out of the car, we'll get a bit more detail about what he's doing with his scouts. But yeah, my scouts, we've got really young scouts, and we've got the other end of the scouts. So we've got really young ones that don't know anything about scouting, and then we've got the patrol leaders who are just about to finish at the end of the year. So we've got this, I don't know how to explain it, but really young and really old scouts. It's going to be not an odd camp, but like the majority of the scouts turning us are really young. So hopefully patrol leaders and those few older scouts will be able to chip in with their experience and stuff on how to get the tents up and the fires going and stuff, because they're arriving at like 7 o'clock Friday. What is it? No, yeah, it's almost pitch black out here in London, 20 to 7. So trying to get some tents up. It's not quite pitch black, but it is definitely dark. So they've had a full day of school, then arrive at camp in the dark to put some tents up. So it'll be rather interesting to see how they get on. So tuning in, a fellow Bush Scout member. See you at the Moot. My hubby did a roast dinner on camp once. We've made cardboard ovens too. Few disasters, but generally worked okay. We've done cardboard ovens, but we've only done pizzas. We've not experimented in kind of big menu. We haven't done any bread. I know you can do bread in a cardboard oven, but we haven't done that. But that'll be quite cool. And so yes, we will see you very, very soon at the Moot. I hope you have heard about the famous Max and Mark quiz that we do at the Moot. That's all I'm saying. But it'll be lovely to see you there. Zoe also did a beef stew. Nice. Funny enough, I had a beef stew for lunch today. So very nice. Right. So the question of the day. Last week, Max posted the question of if you could pick anybody, dead or alive, who would be your scout leader. We got about 3 replies, 3 comments. Today I posted another random question, and I'm really sorry I can't use all your comments because we had a ton of comments, which is absolutely brilliant. Mark is just nipping in saying I had good results with a reflector oven. I haven't used a reflector oven myself. I've seen them in practice. I've seen some other people do it and kind of other scouts, but I've not had it, an experience. We'll get Max in a minute and see if Max has used a reflector oven and see what his experience on that. Dan, I'm doing my first camp with scouts It is a patrol leader and assistant patrol leader camp, as my group is very young. Awesome. The last patrol leaders camp I did, Dan, so it was at PL and APL. We did it in February. We had snow. We had parachute up. It was snowing everywhere. It was amazing because one, it was my first patrol leader camp that I've ever run, and secondly, it was this kind of snowy camp, and we kind of incorporated a whole lot of snow ice theme to it, where you have to work as a team. And we melted, I think it was some toys or something. I put it in a big freezer. Oh, it was a t-shirt. That was it. It was a t-shirt. I saw some random wonder. And then you freeze it and make it a bigger block and a bigger block and a bigger block and a bigger block. And you give them no tools. So over the weekend, they've got to like smash it. They've got to melt it. And whatever patrol got that t-shirt kind of won the t-shirt. So that was a cool one. So it was about learning as a team and trying to think outside the box. That was the whole point of that PL camp. Max is going through a tunnel. Max is underground.
No, it's it's going darker outside. There's not much street lights around here, so.
Oh, no street lights. So yeah, well, actually, that's a really good question, Dan. We'll talk about that maybe next week, or if Max has time to get back, about what you can do as a patrol leader camp. But that's really cool. Right. So the question that I asked today was about expenses. I asked, should scout leaders use their personal funds for expenses, or should the group provide a bank card, a prepaid bank card for such costs? And that's what I asked you guys, because it's a hot topic at the moment. I've seen lots of things on Facebook, and also kind of personally, not that I have a problem funding, but after a while, you kind of think it's a lot of cash. It starts building up, and then you realize we're actually in 100 or whatever. And now we've got camp coming up, so our food bill that we got beavers going, we've got scouts going, is going to be a fortune. So it got me thinking, like, how are we going to fund this? How do people fund it? So I was just having a little look on social media and just thought, actually, this is a hot topic. Everyone's kind of talking about it. So let's ask you guys. David's got in there 1,000%. The group should provide cash flowing. Lots of activities can be pricey. Absolutely. And what I'm talking about, I'm not talking well, it's different actually. And I think Max is on the same page as me, is that if you're kind of buying week after week a bit of paper and some pencils, you might have to buy a few things for that week's activity. If you're talking about kind of 15, maybe £20 or whatever, it starts building up. And like I say, we've got this camp coming up, and the food bill is going to be crazy. So do I have to do it? Then we've got to think about, if the leader's paying for it and they go in their overdraft, and they're going to get a fee from the bank for going into the overdraft, who pays that back? Even though it's not the leader's fault that they've gone into debt, but someone's got to pay for the bill. So I thought, let's ask these questions, and I'm so glad. I have to go up like here. Lots of people commented, and kind of on the same bridge, same boat as me, kind of. Thomas is saying, never thought of a prepaid card. It's a great idea. Our cub group use a personal, and then they claim it back. We have a checkbook, but nobody uses them these days. Exactly. Especially online, is practically unknown. Getting signatures off the card from a committee is problematic with bank, especially when the committee may change year after year. It's a pain. 100%. Who uses checkbooks these days? Derek saying, at the moment we use our personal funds, but I'm pushing for OSM prepaid card. Ian is saying no one should be out of pocket, but how is the question suggests? There are lots of ways to do it depending on the bank facilities, group users, and so on. Absolutely. Anyway, point is, overall methods should be flexible and appropriate, which usually means a combination of solutions. Just taking Max off just because he's going to go in his house for security reasons. Our treasurer is brilliant, speeding in and paying out expenses, so we pay it out what personal funds and then claim it back. That's fine if you can get that money back quick enough, yeah? St. John's Wakefield leaders, I use my own funds and claim back via expenses form. It's getting very expensive now. I have 6 sessions in camps. Before there's, oh, wow. Our treasurer is amazing. It pays me back as soon as I submit. Absolutely. We are going through this at the moment. Our treasurer doesn't want to, but it's hard to do without. Absolutely. Zoe, we use the OSM cards. We have a term budget loaded. Then camp is coming up. So more transferred for food bill. Absolutely. With the OSM prepaid, well, with any prepaid card, kind of say the term you only allowed to spend £100 to buy your equipment or whatever. But if there's a camp coming up or you need some tents or something like that, the person in charge, the treasurer, can up your amount on that card. So say you're going to go and buy 10 tents and that's going to cost you £1,000 or whatever. £1,000 is a lot to anybody. So they can up that on the prepaid card and then bring it back down once those tents have been bought or whatever. Dan, my GSL is trying to get the OSM prepaid card sorted and hopefully rather sooner than later. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing in my group as well. They're just trying to make it a bit more easier for everyone, you know. So it's nicer, so we don't have to force leaders to use their own pocket. Max is back in the building. Max, how you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. So vast apologies about that. I just had to sort something out of the garage for my daughter. So apologies for the car and the noise that was on there, but you know, needs must. Life goes on.
So lots of people are saying they use OSM 1 per section. Our treasurer also funds the card for payments and events. Yep. Adrian, we use our own personal funds and then claim it back, but no more, as we have the OSM prepaid cards. Lovely. Laura, we just go to our GSL, currently the treasurer. Anything that we need ordered and sorted time for food for camps. We have a group Tesco account, the leader for camp. Orders the GSL treasurer improvement, the payment. Okay, that's quite cool. Either work, people doing a bit of both. We have group funds. Any eBay or Amazon orders are linked to the group funds, but those go through one person, so we can keep a better check of it. Absolutely. Katie, just down the road here from me, they use a prepaid bank card. They shouldn't have to use their own money, even if they get paid back. And you're saying prepaid cards, as long as they're good person topping up, keeps on top of things. That's the thing. We've got to make sure we don't hit that kind of maximum that we're allowed to use, or whatever you guys decide. Alison, we've recently changed to the prepaid OSM cards. There are a lot. There are lots and lots of comments, and I really want to get Max back. If you are interested in this, I'm going to do a full vlog on this, but all these comments are over on my Big Man in the Woods Facebook page. So if you want to go through, and maybe if you want to add your comments and your thoughts, that will be absolutely brilliant, because already we've got 9 minutes. And we're coming to the end of the stream, and I've got to get off on time today because I've got to go and do some stuff with the beavers before they go. But like I say, thank you very much. Actually, just jumping on a Bush Scout comment here, it's a regular thing that I've seen on some comments, is that you go and get your expenses. So you go and buy those things, and then when you hand them into the treasurer or whatever, they say, actually, we're not going to pay for that. We didn't authorize you. And that's been kind of not a regular one, but I have seen it. People are kind of commenting saying, you assumed that you went to go and buy some paper or whatever, but actually the Cubs bought a pack of paper beforehand. You guys aren't talking, so we're not going to reimburse you that. And I think that's really bad. And I've seen that quite a few times on some of these comments. But thank you very much. Those comments are brilliant, and it seems that OSM is the kind of the way that people are going forward with the prepaid cards. Now, Max is here. Are you settled?
Oh, I'm settled. It'd be interesting to see what the results of because they asked that question on the survey a few months back, didn't they? On the Scout survey, how much money are you out of pocket? It'd be interesting to see what the results are of that question across everyone.
What do you do in your group, Max?
So we moved to a good bank account that allows 2 people to sign off. So we put our expenses in, and then they get automatically, well, not automatically, somebody has to do it, but our treasurer can then approve, and somebody can counter sign the transaction, and we get paid straight back into our bank account.
Well, that's good. That's all well and good, though, Max. But I've got a camp coming up in 2 weeks. I reckon the food bill is going to be, I don't know, we're looking £300-400 off the top of my head.
So we can do a card. We can, you can get an estimate. So we shop online, get delivery online, get an estimate of the cost, and then somebody can cover that, or you can get sort of a prepayment for the card. The sections, you can have a budget per year for each section, and then that's your kind of sundries and bits. So talking of paper or things like that.
Yep.
But if there's something in the office that needs adding, then we have a WhatsApp group and we say, I'm going to do this. Is anybody doing similar? So that we can at least get those things
delivery
done.
and P&P and stuff. Yeah. But what happens? I keep pointing here, but the camera can't see it. Last year we bought 1, 2, 3, 4. We bought about 12 brand new tents because ours was just old. I was getting fed up with fixing them. I was getting fed up kind of going, actually, we'll fix that in a few weeks' time. We didn't get around to it. I just thought, you know what, let's just throw away these tents that we're never going to get around to fix, honestly. Zips, whatever. So we purchased these. But thankfully, the Beaver leader was very kind enough to say, I'm very happy to put these on my credit card. But what happens if you don't have that leader? What happens if, you're in an area you just can't, there's no one there that can afford to pay it up front? That's what I'm trying to say.
So I would say go and have a word with people like Go Outdoors. Scouting has a relationship with certain vendors. So I would say go and have a word with them. Can we do something where, we place an order and then raise a check against it and get an invoice from them? I'm sure they'll do that you can then get your group to pay them and then do a collection.
Question. Dan's just come in and asked, what type of tents have you got? We've got these Vango Sky 500. They're a 5-man tent. We put them up last term and they're absolutely brilliant. They're big. I got to put it back because they're heavy.
Nice. Yeah. We usually end up with having to replace tents, and we just we keep a spares bag that we take on camp with us. It's about as big as a tent, but it has enough in it to do on-site repairs, including gaffer tape. So that's kind of where things go.
Max, just before we go, we've got 5 minutes. We can overrun a little bit. I've just got to go down at 5 past, so it's not too bad. We have just had a question coming in, and I was going to talk about it actually. A question coming in from Dan. Have we seen the new chief exec has been announced? It has got announced today. Just trying to find it. Just going to get it up. There we are. A chap. Can we see that? Just make sure we got that. Yes, there we are. New OBE Aidan Jones has been appointed as the new chief exec of Scouts by its trustee boards. He'll join the UK's largest youth charity from Monday, the 14th of October, working to support 500,000 young people. So there he is, Aidan Jones, OBE. Just quickly, he has been the exec of World Skills in Abu Dhabi. He was the chief executive of World Skills London 2011. He was Scout Bureau director of Eurojam in 2005. He was the Jamboree in 2007. So he has a wealth of experience. So he will start next Monday. So there you go. Lucas just joined, said, yeah, Aidan Jones, he's got some previous experience in top scouting roles. Looking forward to seeing what he'll bring to this role. Go Outdoors group sales will do invoices. Yeah, absolutely. Go Outdoors do that. And I know Cotswold do that as well. If you contact the head office, they will send you an invoice. And we were going to buy quite a lot of gear from them, and they did accept check because we went through a time last year where we couldn't get into a bank account. Long story, I don't want to discuss it on here, but we were locked out. And they did accept check. It took a bit longer because they needed to receive the check, they needed to bank the check, that kind of thing. So it wasn't kind of like we ordered it, we got it within a few days. It did take a longer process. But these top brands, Go Outdoors, Cotswolds, Alpkit, if you phone them up and say, look, we're a scout troop, we're going to order 10 tents, it's going to cost £1,000, £2,000. How can we go about it? They will help you. So it's really, really cool. Zoe just tuned. Glad I logged in tonight. Good conversation, but my dinner is just cooked. See you both next month at the Moon and looking forward to the quiz. Can you have a selection based Top Gun? Can you have a selection based?
A section based? No, don't quite get that.
Zoe, Facebook us because I don't want to. I thought it was something else, but no. Thanks, Zoe. Good to see you. Max, we have got a few more minutes. Tell us what you're doing at Scouts this week.
Yeah, so we are doing the same as last week. We're doing swapping over. So air rifle shooting and cooking. But our Scouts this weekend went out on a long hike, which is good. Some of them went out on a hike with some of the leaders. Covered an extraordinary amount of miles, so they'll all be getting hikes away and ticks for those.
At the weekend, someone a scout leader messaged me and said, "Can I come on their TikTok live? They're doing a night hike." So I was like, "Look, okay." I went on it. It's Big Man in the Woods, and then just these scouts screaming. It was quite funny to see them. And then I was kind of like, you know, your life, so just be very careful what you're saying on TikTok, because they were like, it was fun. It was really good to see these scouts really enjoy themselves doing a night hike, but they were like on their phone, just screaming, and then they will pass it to the next phone to the next scout, and you kind of, it's all right. And then at one point they did. I'm still learning about TikTok, but you can get some people to kind of join you in a live. And one of the scouts just kind of accepted this guy video, and it was a bit like, oh, and then they were like, oh, do you know who this guy is? No. And then you just see the scout leader get the phone and go, beep. I'm like, woo. That was
you've got to be careful on these platforms. You really have.
But it was quite funny. But when I saw that guy pop up, you were like, gotta be careful. Right, last two comments coming in. David, we did a survival camp in the last week. 80 scouts and cooked fish, pheasant and squirrel, very tasty, but not a lot of meat on the squirrel. Lots of bone, and the red jumper got in the way. Question of the next week: what's your go-to bushcraft dinner? Nice. All right, we will use that one for next week, David. Thank you very much for the idea.
Yeah. Or backwards cooking for those that just don't do the craft bit, but do the backwards cooking outside. Yeah.
Dan ordered 8 tents from Go Outdoors, 2 delivered on a photo from DBT. Go asked me to prove they weren't delivered, sent another 8, returned 2, and then they got another invoice for 8 tents. Had already. Oh my god.
Ouch.
Yes. Took months to sort it out and got a few threatening letters from them. Sorry to hear that, Dan. Very sorry to hear that. But you see this quite a lot in other things. In the delivery, prove you haven't had that delivery. Well, how can you prove it? Like, just take a photo of an empty step.
I've seen that as well. People just holding their hands out, going.
Yeah. I've seen a few of those when you get like Deliveroo and all the pizzas delivered. Prove that you've not had it, and people are like, got a plate empty, like you say.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? How do you prove non-delivery of something?
No.
Yeah, it's a challenge.
And talking about David Liddell, we are doing a teaming up with Southeast London Scouts live stream very, very soon. We've just got to get the dates that both me and Max can available on a Friday, because it's kind of coming up to camping season and stuff like that. So we will be doing a live over the weekend at some point, like we did back in lockdown. Well, Max, thank you very much for rushing home. I hope your car. What was wrong with the car, by the way?
We have to, well, just think about Silver End Scouts. Just Dan's last comment, sorting out stuff with it. Yeah,
I don't want to talk about it.
no, let's not go there. Let's not go there. Not talk about it. Moving on.
Moving on.
Moving
All right.
on.
Well, that's it. I hope you get your target bullseye this Thursday.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. Take some photos. I want to see this bread that you guys are making. And we'll see you next week.
Excellent.
Dan is off to the AGM now. Good stream tonight. Thank you very much, Dan. Every now and then we do some amazing chats. Like sometimes there's a question and you think it's not really going to kick off, and then it explodes, or you think actually this is a really good question, and you don't get any comments.
I've done a car this week. Next week I might do a parachuting out or somewhere, just add some spice to the
Max is turning into a bit of a Bear Grylls. Yeah.
Yeah, jet ski or water
flying
ski.
in, slamming through the window on his parachute. Awesome. Mark, good to see you. Thank you very much for joining us. We're going to turn this into a proper podcast, actually, because I think a proper vlog, actually. I think finance is a real big hot topic. Lucas, thank you very much. Another great live. Awesome. Thank you. And don't forget, if you can't watch this live, you can watch it back during the week. Or if you think, actually, these two are ugly, don't want to see their faces, podcast of this gets edited and comes out on Sunday. So if you want to listen to this as a podcast,
It's a good job you had those things up on the screen as we were going over the speed bumps, and I was going up and down.
So yes, we're podcasting, and this, like I say, if you want to watch this back at any time, even 5 minutes later, you can watch it there and then. Thank you very much, Dan. It's good to see you as well. Max, enjoy the rest of your night, and see you.
Yeah, enjoy your scouts, and everybody enjoy scouting, and see you next time.
Adios.
All right, thanks all.
Button's not working, Max.